LEGO Star Wars clone command stations have been difficult to come by, and that's an understatement. As a LEGO store and LEGO Shop at Home exclusive, you won't be finding it at any of your normal retailers, and if you don't happen to live close to a LEGO store, well, your only option is LEGO.com, on which they are consistently sold out. Although if you are lucky enough to find them in stock on the site, you'll be met with a strict limit of 5 per person, after which your orders will be canceled. So if you don't happen to live near a LEGO store, good luck getting more than 5 of these sets, probably ever. And now you understand why 5 is the number of sets I chose to combine today, because it's the highest number of sets that most normal people are gonna be able to get. Having brought in a built version of the set and dumped the parts for 5 more sets behind it, this is a bit daunting. With my last 2 alternate builds, the Boba Fett's Palace and Dark Trooper attack set, I knew I wanted to extend and expand the sets. With this one, I don't quite think it's the same deal. I don't think I can create a bigger clone command station all that easy, but I also don't know what else I can create out of 5 sets. I'm gonna get started and see where it goes. I actually somehow caught myself in a great groove of this weird kind of theme park or after a baseball, basketball game vibe with these concession type stands with clothing and such. So I didn't go for like a vehicle approach, which is kind of what I had in mind at first. Was like I tried a Republic Swamp Speeder. I guess I don't have much left over from that, but I tried to do a Republic Swamp Speeder. Did not really work out, and so then I ended up working this out. So I'm going to try to use more of these parts to try and build 1 or 2 more things though. So on the left, we have the original build, which isn't bad. You can check out a full review of it on my YouTube channel. And then on the right here, we have all the extra parts from the 5 packs that I opened and built into something different. And you can see I used almost all of the parts to build a pretty comprehensive kind of shopping center, theme park, kind of booth going on. I don't know. I just kind of started with this theme park booth and just expanded with all of these other little things that kind of added on to it. And it ended up being a very fun experience for me. It's something I haven't really done too much with LEGO's build like this. And it's just kind of killer for me to see this whole area expand out. It's kind of the Geonosis Clone Trooper shopping center or Kaminoan shopping center, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But I'm pretty happy with it. Starting out on the left here, I have the self-service station. I really like the way I did the feet for this. I just kind of randomly stumbled into that design, and I was like, oh, that actually works really well, and I can angle it nicely, so I've got a clone trooper working there, kind of inspired by the McDonald's self-serve stations when you go in McDonald's. So yeah, that was kind of the idea and what kind of prompted that once I figured out that footing there. And then behind that, this was going to be like a armor defense thing, and I don't know what it really is, but it's there. It uses a very similar footing style, as you can tell. I just kind of built it because I had the parts to build it, and it doesn't actually really serve a purpose here. It doesn't have any tiles or anything on it. Like, it's just got a clone trooper behind it, and it's good. We've got the line of regular clone troopers here, one of which is on his cell phone and just looks like he's really angry, yelling in line. And then we kind of have the concession booth here, but it's more of like a concession booth for weapons, and you can see a lot of the blasters for the clone troopers behind there. We'll wrap around there in a second, but if I pull this up and out, you can see I put a plate under that clone trooper so he can stand up a little bit higher, because when I actually sat clone trooper behind this, I realized it was a little bit taller than I thought I had built it. But on the front, we have the control panels, which kind of remind me, like, as a kid, when the ice cream truck would come through the neighborhood, you'd have all the ice cream right front and center for the kids, and then you would look up and make your order and hand them a few dollars, and you get your SpongeBob ice cream, and it was amazing. So on the sides, it kind of looks like wheel wells, basically. You can put some wheels on it, cart on wheels, whatever, and so I just thought it was some nice extra flair to add the extra red and just kind of round it off. Then the top kind of has the, I don't know, shaded roof, or however you would call it. It's got a bit of an angle to it with the red, which I really like. And then the back is a little bit of a more open concept. Doesn't matter what the back looks like because it's for the employees. And we've got a couple control panels down here for the employees to use. Maybe it's like a robbery button. I don't know. Just whatever it would be used for. And then, of course, the countertop. Just I couldn't add anything to the countertop. I was looking for things to add. Basically, I could add a 1x2 brick, but like it would be too big on there. Plus, I already have them on there, so it didn't make any sense. I didn't have anything that I could really add on there. There were no cups, of course, in these sets, so it just didn't work. Now, the weapons racks, this one I actually built at the very end here. I just had a few extra parts. I was like, oh, I could just build another weapons rack, so I added that on. And this big main one I built about halfway into my process, and you can see I put a lot of blasters on there. I just basically stuffed it with as many as I could to use the ones that were included in the set, and you can see not quite the cleanest design ever, but I try to make everything in this as symmetrical as possible. So yeah, that one ended up being a pretty nice build to have behind the counter so the clones can come up and, you know, buy their weapons. Moving along, another one of the first things I built was kind of this helmet showcase area, and the helmets are actually practically stuck in there because they fit perfectly, so they actually don't fall out, which is kind of cool, I guess. Would have been nice if I had a clear piece to put on top or something, but yeah, I got 2 helmets in there to kind of show off a couple of the yellow clone helmets. I used the yellow clones as the display ones because I guess the color is nice and pops, I guess, too. But I also didn't want to build up the yellow clones for this because you know why. Anyway, I have this clone trooper taking a deep look at it. I thought this was pretty funny to put him at this like weird angle like this with his head turned, so he's like really looking at those helmets there. And then over here we kind of have a clothing area with a couple clone helmets on spikes. That was actually one of my very original ideas today, to put those yellow clone helmets on spikes. And it ended up that they were put on spikes for part of the display to sell the clothing line. But you have the yellow commander clothing, pilot clothing, and over here we have the changing station. So we kind of have these barn doors that I remember where my grandma is a little bit, come on, a little bit hard to do with one hand here. Hold on. There it is. Ooh. Okay, perfect. Okay, so putting pressure down, we can actually turn these. The barn doors, maybe not. The barn doors here can be opened to allow characters to move in and out of the changing room area. It's obviously not entirely closed off. I did not have the pieces to achieve that, but I still think it's a really cool thing to have in the set. And then we have kind of this touch-free way to open the doors, of course, because it's Star Wars and it's a long time ago, not the future, but nonetheless still very cool, I think, to have a nice little changing area right next to the clothing area. And then just at the very end, I kind of threw this together to be able to put the helmet on before he goes in. I honestly, I think it's dumb. Look, I don't think this is a particularly easy set to modify given the limited range of parts included in the set. No matter how many you have, you're still limited by what you have. And unfortunately, it's just a lot of red, gray, and black, and very small pieces generally with some slopes mixed in. But I still had a great time converting this into something that I thought was kind of unique and fun and reminded me of some childhood things. And so that was a great time. If you guys do end up converting your very own clone command stations into something different, make sure you post it on the MandRproductions subreddit where I and others will be able to see it. And if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and you can check out more LEGO Star Wars alternate builds by yours truly on the end screen now.